Hey, welcome! This lesson, you're going to be applying some HTML code to this block of text to make it stand out, to highlight some of the content that's contained within here. We notice that we've got a name. We also have separation of the content. So now it talks about the HTML course. And there are also some words that should be highlighted. I'm going to show you now what it should look like, and then you can pause the video, update the source code or the text in order to match my styling. So you can pause the video here, take a look at what the final output is going to look like, try it out, and I'll walk you through the solution coming up. And we're going to be applying what we've learned in the earlier lessons. So I hope you had an opportunity to try it out, and it is so important that you do try the code yourself. So the first element, and this one is fairly obvious that this is going to be an H1. So most of the time within the web pages, we start with the largest heading first. So applying the H1 highlights it and makes the words stand out. And we also have another heading, and that's the one that's down here where we've got the HTML course. So separating that out, and immediately we see that there are two separate pieces of content, two separate blocks of content. The first one is talking about Lawrence Svekis. The second one is about the HTML course. So we've been able to divide those out. Also, we've got different paragraphs of content. So the first paragraph is, this is my website. And if I separate it out into a paragraph, it distinguishes it from the rest of the code, but it doesn't give it a second heading, subheading. And notice that the size of the H2s are going to be the same, so it's going to match with what the HTML course is, and it's also going to match with this. And this is the main heading that we have on the page, is the name. So next, let's add in a paragraph. So I enjoy coding and warm weather. And the rest of the text is also within the paragraph, but this is with a line break, as we're adding it to the second line, but it's really the same thought. So it's allowing us to add a line break in there and separate out the content. So the line breaks, when you resize the page, the line break's a lot more visible because the text no longer looks like it's wrapping. When you make it small, it does look like it is wrapping. So there is a little bit of a distinction there. And do always try to resize your page, because as you're building out your content, it should be responsive and mobile friendly for different screen sizes. So here it says that I enjoy coding and warm weather. So let's add some emphasis on coding, and we'll make this strong. And if you applied the bold tags, that's fine as well. And then the warm weather is just an emphasis on the warm weather. And I'm not going to wrap the period in there, but actually the period would still look the same. So it's okay if you did that. And here it's got kind of a quote. So let's apply the emphasis on all of this. And I'm going to move this to ask you to keep coding, trying the code. And we want to emphasize this part of the paragraph. So now let's refresh. And now we've completed the first part where we've got the structure. And also between them, we've got a horizontal rule. So it's that line that goes across the middle. Next, we've got please do try this today. And I want to try to add specific emphasis. So once again, this is a paragraph. So separating it out and moving it within a paragraph. And this is another paragraph. And you can distinguish it when you do the page resizes. So right now on the smaller size, it is going to be wrapping. And refresh. And notice that paragraph after paragraph does add in the spacing as opposed to the line break, which doesn't add that in. I'm going to bold the please. So I'm not applying particular emphasis to the please, but I do want it to stand out. And either one that you use, whether the bold or the strong, I know it's difficult to tell the difference. So either one would have been okay. And we're just looking at the wording that's contained in there. So I do want to have emphasis on the word today. So I do want that to stand out because there is a meaning that we want someone to take action right away. So that's why we're applying the strong to that. Whereas the please, it's more of just something that we want people to notice. And then this bottom part, and I'm going to add in the word help and put that within strong because I want particular attention to be applied to this area where this is highlighted as that someone needs help. And I'm also going to change this to uppercase to really make it stand out. So that's another trick that you can use in order to make the text stand out. And within here, I'm going to add in a line break. and as well an exclamation mark within help to match the original structure. So that's it. So I hope you had an opportunity to try this. And when you resize it, also pay attention to the resizing of how the code is flowing. And that will give you hints to what the structure is of the code. It's a great job on completing this exercise. And in the next lesson, we're going to be looking at more of what we can do with HTML code.